Good morning. If you want to see how we made this replacement handle for a Laz-e-boy recliner, stay tuned because that's what we're going to do today. Well, good morning and welcome to Memphis Monday 350. Today we got those Laz-e-boy chairs, and they got the little handle on the side for rocking it back and all that. We got one of those to fix today. It's as you can see, it's no longer, it's demanufactured itself. So that's the project. Let's knock off that chit chat and get to work. Oh, here's our little handle. Looks like it's got this little fitting here. It looks like it was probably glued. This is some of that fake wood. So we'll need to get this thing out of here. And then it's got a keeper screw in there. Taking out with an Allen wrench. Right now, let's take this tape off and see where it's broken. I don't know if we're gonna fix this handle or make a new one. Let's see how it's broke here. I'll take this tape off and I'll bring you back. Well, they when they made this thing, they knew it was defective. When they made it, they actually put a pot metal bar, molded it into the plastic handle, and it broke off. It looks like at some point I inserted a piece of threaded rod in here to fix it. I don't know why I didn't fix it right, but I didn't. So I don't think that really can be practically fixed. So it means we need to take this fitting out and try to make a new handle. My first scheme here is I'm going to try to take this Forstner bit and drill down to that fitting so that I can either push it through or at least see it. Then the next step is to put it on my anvil here and try to drive that fitting out. Well, I just put my drill, or put my punch right through it. Well, I got that fitting out, and I figured out why it was so hard to get out, because that rod we found in the handle, that rod that's in this handle here, comes right off that fitting and then right down the handle. So we got to do is and then just molded this piece right into this plastic. Well, we can't do that because we don't have any plastic, but we're gonna cut a mortise in here and fit this thing down in that mortise. It shouldn't move because we have this long thing here. This is actually a pretty good design, except for one thing. They use pot metal. This is just about the weakest stuff you can get. Okay, let's cut this mortise. Here I'm just mortising out that space for a fitting. It's going to go down in here like this. So it's just a question of hogging out the material. Chipped out the mortise that the fitting sits in. Fits in there just like this. Pretty tight fit. Now it has a set screw in the end right here that I need to have access to. So what I'm doing here is I'm going to drill a hole down through the end here, and it'll probably just be a gouge, not a hole, because I have to have access to that screw. I'm not very tight there, am I? Let me tighten this thing up. Okay, got to reposition. I want it to be nice and tight. Now, nominally, this drill bit will go through and just leave a nice hole right through there. Just a little coverage here, but I think it's probably going to blow out. Let's see if we get lucky. Well, sometimes things actually work. That's exactly what I was shooting for right there. I just need a hole so that I can reach back in there and tighten up that keeper there. I want to bed this thing in with epoxy, of course, but got a hole in it. And I'm going to block that hole up with tape. I just don't want that epoxy to leak up inside this thing. Okay, then I have this this Allen screw right here, this set screw, and I don't want epoxy to get on that. And I have this hole here in the access hole. What I'm going to do is fill both of these with grease, because the epoxy won't mix with the grease. I'm going to fill this hole up here with grease also. Okay, you got to work fast with this epoxy. Sets in 5 minutes. And when you're doing a big, large amount like this, it actually sets faster. Okay, let's see if this scheme's gonna work. Well, I came up with this rather random It's not actually random. I actually copied the same angle. let's finish it with some teak oil. I think it's funny why I'm want to use teak oil. I don't want to wait for the polyurethane to dry. Is that a good reason? Well, I can claim another reason. Here's the old handle, and you can see they're similar colors. Well, that'll do it for Memphis Money 350. Today we built a replacement handle for a Laz-e-boy rocking chair, and we installed this fitting by embedding it in epoxy. Made provisions for the Carter pin in there. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Well, the handle broke on this thing. I hooked up these vice grips, and the funny thing is, this vice grips turned out to be the best handle I've ever had. Isn't that ironic? I got your back, so we'll see if this thing works. Wonderful job. Well, it does it for Memphis Monday 350. Today we reverse engineered that handle for a Laz-e-boy rocker. Took a little bit of thought trying to figure out how the thing was put together, and once we did, we had to take it apart and figure out how to install that fitting in our new handle. Then we had to carve the new handle, had to install the whole thing. So overall, I think we had a pretty good time. So like, favorite, share, and all the stuff you do on the internet. But most important, make sure you're back here next week for another exciting Memphis Monday. Thanks for playing along.